Hello friends, welcome to Core Semantic and welcome to the new video tutorial. So this video tutorial is about jQuery Datatables and its integration with ASP.NET MVC. So let's get started. So let us have short introduction to jQuery Datatable. So jQuery Datatable is jQuery plugin, or you can say jQuery library, which enables you to quickly and easily enhance your HTML tables. So what kind of enhancement you can perform? So you can apply the pagination, you can apply sorting, you can apply searching. All we are going to study throughout this video tutorial. The next important thing is that jQuery Datatable supports both client-side processing as well as server-side processing, which means it can work with static web page and as well as dynamic web page. So since this tutorial is about integration of jQuery Datatable with ASP.NET MVC, so my focus is on server-side processing. The next important thing is that since jQuery Datatable works on plain HTML tables, it doesn't matter what server-side technology you use. See, you can use any server-side technology. It can be PHP, it can be ASP.NET, it can be ASP.NET MVC, or it can be JSP, anything. It really do not matter. Now, let us see the advantages of using jQuery data tables. See, you can apply pagination, instant search is available, you can perform sorting. As I told you, it supports both client-side as well as server-side processing. You can use it with almost any type of data source. Means since mainly we are focusing here on server-side processing, so you can say it works with both XML as well as JSON data. And if we consider client-side processing, in that case it supports HTML data or even JavaScript object or JavaScript array also. It is easily themable. You can easily format it. Ready-made CSS are available for this. Again, it has a wide variety of extension. It has a responsive design, that's why it is mobile friendly. And the most important thing is that it is free and open source software. Okay, even you can also contribute to its coding. So let us see the prerequisite for data table. So if you want to use data table in your web page, so what you need? Definitely you need one table tag which should have an ID, Then there should be a T head and T body tag specified in your HTML table. Remember this thing. Most of the time while creating HTML table, we avoid these two tags. But here, if you are going to work with HTML, if you are going to work with jQuery data table, these two tags are really mandatory. The next thing is that you have to reference following JS file and CSS file. Definitely CSS file is optional. If you want to give any theme or if you want to apply any formatting at that time, definitely you need this. But this JavaScript file is must. So first of all, we need a jQuery core file, which is nothing but jQuery 2.1.4 or whatever the latest version you have. And then after, you need this jQuery.datatables.mean.js, any minified file or non-minified file. You can use anything. So here I specify the CDN path, but what you can do, you can go to jQuery data table site and you can download that JS on your local machine and you can give the local path or your web server path, whatever convenient to you. And similarly, as I told you, you can download the CSS also or you can directly give the CDN path, but CSS is optional. If you want to if you want to apply any theme, if you want to apply any formatting, in that case, CSS is required. Now, the next important thing is that we need to write one code. Definitely, if you are performing client-side processing, then code is very short. But for server-side processing, we have to write bit more code. So here, I'm just going to focus on the simple code, and then after, we will move toward the complex part. So this is the simple code required. In your script tag, you have to give call to the data table method by selecting your table. So this is the table ID. Whatever table ID you have given, you have to mention it here using ID selector. Okay. And in document.ready event, you have to mention this. Everything should be enclosed in a script tag. Okay. So let us see this simple thing practically. And if you want to know anything more about this, you can refer this datatables.net website. Okay, so everything related to data tables will be available there. So for more details, you can refer this website. So let us have a practical demonstration of it. So as you can see here, I have already created a ASP.NET MVC application named as Learn jQuery Data Table. Even I added a home controller and one index view is also added. Okay. So here on my index view, I already created a table tag. I added few rules and according to our requirement, I added tbody and thead tag also. Okay. Now this is just a plain HTML table. So we can view the output. I applied the bootstrap table class, so that's why it looks formatted. So it do not have any pagination functionality, searching functionality or sorting functionality. Okay. Now we are going to enhance this HTML table using jQuery data table. So the first step toward this is to add a references of JS file and CSS file. So let us add it. So I'm using the concept of layout view. So that's why I'm going to add the reference of my CSS file here. Okay. So I'm giving the CDN path. The next step is to give a jQuery data table JS file reference. Okay. So say suppose for example it is required for this particular view only. If it is not required in all the view, in that case you can add that reference to the specific view, but if it is required on all the view, then you can put that reference in a layout file. We already studied this concept while studying the MVC. So if you are not aware of this part, please watch my video related to ASP.NET MVC. So here in index view, I am concerning that I required jQuery data table JS file reference for this particular view only. So in that case, I have to create a section here. Okay. So let us create a section. And again, if you are not familiar with the concept of section, it is already defined in ASP.NET MVC video tutorial. So give a nice name, say my data table. It can be any name, but should be readable. And then after here, you have to mention the reference of your jQuery data table JS file. Okay. So this is the reference of your jQuery data table file or data table JS file. So here in both the cases for CSS as well as for JS file, I am following the CDN path. And as I told you, you can copy that file or download that file in your project, and you can reference that file also. It do not matter. Okay. Now the next important thing is we have to give call to the data table function. Okay. And for that we need the ID of this table. We already specified the ID according to the requirement. So what is the ID of this table? TBL codes. Okay. So using ID selector, we are going to select this table and we are going to give call to the data table function of jQuery data table. So again, inside the script tag and in document.ready event. So $document.ready. I write one function, anonymous function, and in that function I'm going to call the data table function. But for that, first of all, I have to select my table. So as I told you, we are going to use ID selector. So ID selector is selected with the help of hash. Then after, you have to specify the name of your ID, which is nothing but a table ID in this case, or element ID you can say in general. And then after, give call to the data table function. That's it. So if you are performing any client-side processing and if you are using plain HTML data as a data source, then literally you have to write very less code. This code is sufficient. Now, after defining this section, the most important thing is that you have to render this section in layout. Otherwise, it will not work and it will throw an error. Okay. So what is my section name? My data table. Okay. So we have one function called as render section. Okay. And to this, you have to specify the section name that you want to render. And one more parameter you will specify, which is of type boolean. So here we'll specify the false value. Now I'll tell you the reason of this. This means this section is not compulsory for other views. If it is present, then only it will be rendered, and if it is not present, then there will be no error. Okay, that is the purpose of specifying this second argument. Now be careful that you will render this section below this script tag. Okay, because what happened, this script tag will be rendered first, then after whatever is there in our section get rendered, because for this datatable.js file we need main jQuery file. Okay, and this file should be above, this main jQuery file should be above the reference of jQuery datatable file. Okay, now we're done with this part. So let us check the output. So I'm just refreshing my page because it is already in the running state. Oh, see, everything get added. Okay, so this pagination functionality is there. On second page you can see rest of the records because current page size is 10 records only. Here you can change the page size, you can do the searching. So basically it do the searching on each and every column and each and every row. Okay, so it search it everywhere, according to that it will show the output. We just wrote a single line of code and we just added a references. That's it. It converted our plain HTML table to more enhanced table having multiple functionality. Okay, so if you are working with a plain HTML table, your data source is only plain HTML table, this is the code for it. So from this video onward, we are going to see how to use data tables with server-side processing. So definitely database part get involved here. I hope you enjoy this video. Thanks for watching.